Hello, lovely viewers and listeners. Today we're going to be learning about the backstory of Lulu from League of Legends. If you enjoy the video, please like and subscribe, but above all, enjoy. Lulu, the Fey Sorceress. Lulu was always a caring, deeply empathetic Yordle, who lived as much in her whimsical daydreams as in reality. One day, while wandering the material realm, she came upon what appeared to be a bird with a broken wing. She ran to help, at which point the bird turned into a tiny mischievous fey spirit. Before she could react, the fairy grabbed her walking stick and took off. Giggling, Lulu gave chase. The spirit led her far into the forest. They went over boulders, under logs, and around ancient, overgrown stone circles. The fairy darted into a cave hidden behind a waterfall, and Lulu went after it. It flittered ahead, always just out of reach. Down and down and down they went. Lulu tumbled and scrambled around twisted roots and glowing mushrooms. But at some point they crossed over into the spirit realm without her realizing it. The surroundings became progressively stranger and more disorienting. Up became down, forward became backward, big became small. Finally, after what seemed forever, Lulu caught up with the fairy, whose name she discovered was Pix. With the click of his tiny fingers, Pix turned her humble walking stick into a spiraling staff, and tossed it back to her. It sprouted leaves and flowers, making Lulu gasp in delight. So began their forever friendship built of mischief, fun, and love of nature. Pix had led her to the glade. Vandal City, Lulu's home, was a bizarre and magical place that defied logic. Where time was meaningless, the natural laws of the material realm did not wholly apply. And yet the glade was a place stranger still. It existed long before Yordles came into the world, and it was perhaps from the glade that Vandal City itself sprung. A place of raw, primordial magic, it was hidden away so deeply that no Yordle had ever found it. Until now. Here, Lulu's own magic became wildly magnified. Laughing joyfully, she discovered she could reshape her surroundings at will, as well as alter her form to whatever she wanted. Everything and anything from her overactive imagination came to life. Little Lulu didn't know if Pix had brought her because he saw in her a kindred soul and simply wanted someone to play with, or if the glade needed her for some other purpose. But she fell in love with it instantly. Her life became one of endless creation and play. She soon forgot anything else existed. When finally she remembered, it was like waking from a dream. She found herself back in the material realm, not knowing if a single day had passed or 1,000 years. To her surprise and joy, she found that some of her newfound power had come with her, allowing her to make small things large, change colors to those more pleasing to her, and cause creatures to fall spontaneously asleep. To Pix's endless amusement, she turned the mightiest beasts into tiny bewildered frogs or squirrels with a flick of her staff. Okay, so this is basically explaining her powers from the game. Her ultimate ability is being able to enlarge someone, and her W, or one of her basic abilities, is being able to turn an enemy into an animal. It's actually really cool. It's fun to play with. Nevertheless, she began to miss the glade. She decided to go back, but realized she didn't remember the way. Pix was no help, claiming to have forgotten as well. It was possible he just didn't want to return quite yet. Unperturbed, Lulu set out anyway. She was certain the route back to the glade was always shifting, making one way as good as another. She simply picked whatever direction took her fancy at any particular moment, and even threw herself into seemingly terrible danger whenever it looked fun. Her travels took her far and wide, and magic, mayhem, and mishap tended to follow wherever she went. In Demacia, she freed a group of children from their boring history lessons, and led them off into a nearby meadow. Her game resulted in them being turned into toadstools for a full turn of the moon, while their desperate parents and the local militia searched for them in vain. It wasn't quite what Lulu had intended, but fun nonetheless. When the children finally returned home and told everyone what had happened, no one believed them. In the borderlands of the Freljord, Lulu thought it would be hilarious to change the weapons of two rival tribes into flowers, just as they clashed, which resulted in absolute chaos and confusion. More recently, she has found herself happily lost in Ionia, playing in the glowing everblooms of Caelid, and playing pranks on bewildered acolytes of the Order of Shadow. I think if I remember correctly, I believe Akali and Shen are part of the Order of Shadow. I might be thinking of something else though, but I don't know. At least I believe I'm right. From this we start from playing in the glowing everblooms of Kaelin and playing pranks on bewildered acolytes of the Order of Shadow. She thinks are far too serious for their own good. While Lulu seeks to return to the glade and misses it, she is happy, for every day brings more opportunity for adventure and fun. And besides, she has come to realize that she carries a part of the glade in her heart, wherever she goes. The background of Lulu. Early life of Lulu, stumbling into the glade. Lulu always had a deeply empathetic and caring... Oh, there's already a typo in this already. Lulu always a deeply empathetic and caring mortal. Oh, just reading it wrong. Once came across an injured bird and instinctively rushed to help, but as she reached for it, the bird transformed into a mischievous fairy. Laughing, it flew away, taking Lulu's staff with it as she eagerly gave chase. So basically just reading her biography from the other one, but I think this is going to include more, hopefully. As she pursued the fairy, the world around her began to shift and warp. Unbeknownst to Lulu, she had crossed into the spirit realm. The fairy, who introduced himself as Pix, eventually stopped and with a flick of his fingers, transformed Lulu's simple walking stick into a magical staff. He led her to a place of ancient, pure, primordial magic where Lulu's own powers amplified. He led her to the glade. Vandal City, Lulu's home, was a strange and magical place that defied logic, where time was unstable and the natural laws of the world, the material world, did not fully apply. Yet the glade was an even stranger place. It had existed long before the Yordles came into the world, and perhaps it was from the glade that Vandal City itself arose. Here, her imagination could manifest into reality, and she reveled in the freedom of creation. Reveled in the freedom of creation. Lulu did not know whether Pix had brought her here because of a similarity of souls, or whether the glade itself had called her. But she fell in love with this place instantly. She was so lost in the magic and wonder that she eventually forgot about existence of everything else, and time lost its meaning in the glade. What seemed like mere days to Lulu could have been centuries or even millennia. Yet one day, as if awakening from a long sleep, Lulu found herself back in the material realm, unsure of how long she had been gone. To her surprise and delight, she found that some of her newfound power had come with her, allowing her to make small things large, change colors to those more pleasing to her, and make creatures spontaneously fall asleep. To Pix's infinite amusement, she turned the most powerful beasts into tiny, confused frogs or squirrels with a single swing of her staff. While she missed the glade, Lulu set off on a journey across Runeterra. Those that know, Runeterra is basically the name of their world. Like how we have Earth, they have Runeterra. Always searching for the elusive way back. Pix, however, claimed to have forgotten the way, but perhaps he did not wish to return yet. Together, they traveled from place to place, pulling playful pranks wherever they went. In the land of Demacia, known for the resistance to magic, she led a group of children away from their dull history lessons and transformed them into toadstools. To the horror of their parents and the local militia, the children eventually returned unharmed, but their wild stories were dismissed as fantasies. In cold territories of Freljord, she found herself in the middle of a battle between rival tribes and decided to turn their weapons into flowers for her own amusement, creating chaos and confusion. More recently, Lulu has been seen wandering Ionia, playing among the glowing everblooms of Kaelin and pranking the overly serious acolytes of the Order of Shadow, who she thinks need to lighten up. Though Lulu longs to return to the glade and often misses it, she finds joy in the present where each day offers new adventures and excitement. Besides, she has come to understand that the glade is always with her, carried in her heart wherever she goes. Modern history. Oh, this is where she meets Tristana. Oh, this is cool. During one of her adventures, Lulu traveled with Tristana after visiting Poppy. As they stepped through a Yordle gateway, Lulu misplaced her Whispering Key, an ancient and powerful artifact she affectionately referred to as her doodad. Ignoring Tristana's growing concern about a nearby Noxian camp, Lulu eagerly used her magic to track it down. Much to Tristana's dismay, the playful artifact began to elude them, shifting into various forms whenever Lulu tried to catch a glimpse of it. Before long, Draven and Tamara— I don't know who Tamara is. Draven is another champion, though. Draven and Tamara led a band of Noxian forces in a sudden attack on the two Yordles. However, the land itself rose to aid them, as nature spirits joined the battle. While Tristana bravely held off the Noxians, Lulu remained preoccupied with chasing her ever-elusive doodad, laughing as it transformed into anything but its true form. Finally, with the help of the spirits, the Yordles emerged victorious, as Draven and the remaining Noxians were chased off by a massive enchanted rabbit. I think what we're reading about right now, I believe there's a story for Lulu. I'm going to be reading it, but I believe this is talking about that story. Rabbit. Oh, there it is. Chased off by a massive enchanted rabbit. Tristana gave a nod of thanks to the creature, while Lulu expressed her gratitude to the spirits in the land itself. With the battle behind them, the two friends continued on their way, ready for whatever the next adventure would bring. One day, when Timo was captured— not the app, the Yordle. When Timo was captured in Bilgewater by Graves, his Yordle friends in Bandle City decided to rescue him. Tristana, Timo's closest friend, insisted on going alone, but Lulu and Corky wanted to help too. Tristana convinced them to go on diversionary missions. She sent Corky after a made-up threat in Piltover and told Lulu to keep an eye on a rock by the entrance to Bandle City. After the others left, Lulu became impatient and pouted, accidentally enlarging Pix's head. Okay. Meanwhile, Corky realized he had been tricked and returned to Bandle City, where he invited Lulu to cause some ruckus. By the time they regrouped, Tristana had also been captured. Corky attempted to fly his plane to rescue them, but crashed, landing in a cage. Lulu, now larger than usual and still guarding the rock, approached them, complaining to Tristana that the rock was doing nothing. But when she touched the runic iron cage, she shrank back to her normal size, dropping the rock on Graves' foot and causing him to shoot a rope and accidentally free the other Yordles. I think this is from a video that Leak made, like an ad, one of their cinematic advertisements. I believe that's what this is. At least I believe, I remember correctly. In the last-ditch attempt to stop them, Graves grabbed Corky and threatened Tristana. Lulu playfully and quickly turned Graves into a small gromp. So I don't know, gromps. If you know what a gromp is, you know what a gromp is, but it's basically, it's like a giant frog the size of like a normal person. It's big. Oh, no, that's in the game. I believe gromps are actually small, but I think in the game they got enlarged. I don't know. Gromps are funny looking, just to put it bluntly. Quickly turned Graves into a small gromp, forcing Twisted Fade, who knew how this would end, to take his enchanted friend with him. With the danger over, Tristana thanked her friends for their support, and the Yordles returned to Bandle City, as Timo showed everyone his new pet, a soul-devouring sea worm named Fluffy. That's it for the background and backstory for Lulu. Not much here. When was Lulu head to the game? Because that would explain. When was Lulu added to the March 20th, 2012. Whoa, I would expect a lot more then. I guess it makes sense they wouldn't do a lot with her. She's not the most famous Yordle, but now I know how she got her power. She got it from the Glade. So that's cool, and I wonder what the history behind the Glade is. We have, oh god, I can't remember, but it was in the Mel video. Rock Run, I believe? We have to learn about Rock Run, the Glade. There's a lot of places we have to learn about now. But, yeah, I don't know how to end these videos, but hopefully you enjoyed, and I hope you'll be here for the next one. Peace, guys.